Welcome, race fans, to PitStop TV. As usual, we're live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. Emerson and Ardon and Trey Patton join me in the booth. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is PitStop TV's live coverage of some Monday night short track racing at New Smyrna Speedway with the virtual super late model. Emerson, Trey, we're going to kind of take a more relaxed approach here tonight. I'm really happy to have you guys alongside of me. We've been grinding out some really big broadcasts, at least for us lately, and it's a nice transition to go to something new, a nice little refresh here with these super late models iRacing. We haven't done a whole lot of short track racing lately until we got LTAC for Bristol and we got the McConey Setup Shop Summer Tour, but it's really cool to get some more short track racing here on the channel and see what these guys can do here in the virtual super late models. Of course, I believe it's a Junior Motorsports base. I could be wrong there. Regardless, these things are bad fast. They're a bit interesting to handle, pretty hard to handle sometimes, and they will certainly give these guys a run for their money trying to get those. I don't know if I want to say big, heavy. They handle decently lively, but they have a lot of power and they can get away from you pretty quickly. But regardless, thank you guys for joining me. And I mean, we're just going to go straight to paying the bills, and as we have some practice shenanigans here, but I'll give it straight over to Emerson.
Right. So when it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Here at Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, the owner, Ashley Bullier, is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. If you're looking for the best solutions for your PMU concerns, give us a call today and book a consultation. You can contact us at permanentmakeupinmaine.com or call and text us at 207-358-8683. If you visit our Facebook page, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, you will see that we do monthly giveaways. If you submit your entry, who knows? You might just win.
And our other sponsor, Whiplash Media, PitStop TV's new parent organization. Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and much more. Whiplash Media is also working on its presence in real racing, such as photography, social media management, and public relations. Go to whiplash-media.com for more information.
So thank you guys. As Cole Fraley likes to say, we'll be able to keep the lights on and keep buying some toilet paper here for the next few weeks. So appreciate you guys there. So as I mentioned, this is a brand new league to us. Bit of a lower scale league. I don't want to say that in a bad way, by any means. These guys definitely are here to do some good short track racing. They've, I believe last week was Myrtle Beach, so during Myrtle last week, unfortunately we didn't get to cover that race, but we're here at New Smyrna. This is, I think, the first points race that's counting. They did a couple of races to get things going, like I said, last week at Myrtle Beach. I forget where they went the week before that, but we'll see where things go. Regardless, I always like to kind of turn a focus over to some grassroots racing. We did some dirt racing way back when. Now we did some midgets at Lima Land. I wish we'd get some more dirt racing on the channel. Regardless, I think some super late models here at New Smyrna should be a lot of fun. And Emerson, I know this is a new thing for you at least. I believe you just bought the license to use the iRacing super late model here on the service a little while ago.
Right, yeah, I did. I don't have as big of an interest in short track racing as many others would, but when it comes to it, racing is racing, and the action that short track racing provides, definitely can attract some eyes, even the casual racing fans. Short track racing is fun for everyone, and this practice, it has been action packed as it is, as we're a couple minutes away from quality. These drivers are just trying to get the most they can out of the circuit, out of the track before they get to qualifying.
Yeah, action-packed is most. That's an understatement. These guys are all over the place. As you're seeing, these guys are hitting the wall, spinning out. Back to what Andrew said, grassroots. As you see on board here, this 2 cars just nail the wall. It doesn't take much to send these cars around. These cars, as Andrew said before, there's a lot of power. As you can see there, I'm not quite sure who we're on board with. You saw he got loose in the entry there. These cars are pretty hard to handle. Really just depends. You don't want to touch that apron here at New Smyrna, because if you do, that car will get sent right around. These cars are really fun. They're really loose to drive. I find them very similar to the Legend car. Just a lot of short track racing. It provides a lot of good content, and hopefully I hope that this field can provide some good racing for you guys tonight.
It's funny you say that you find them close to the Legends car, because realistically they're anything but a Legends car. They're about as far from a Legends car as you can get while still being on short ovals. That said, I can certainly see some parallels in the way they handle, and we have a special camera to go to with these Super Late models as well. This is a look at the left front brake rotor, so you can see the travel as well in the suspension. Then you'll see as it compresses down here for turn 1, as we're on board with John Goyne. That rotor just lights up. Now, obviously, this isn't modeled perfectly. Yeah, it's kind of almost 2008 graphics a little bit, but at the same time, this, even on iRacing, gives you a good look at just the kind of load that these brake rotors and brake pads are under. I mean, it's glowing as they go off into turn 1. He's only been on the racetrack for a few laps as well, so John Goyne definitely getting a lot of heat in those left front brakes, and I can't wait to see from the TV cameras hopefully as well. What we may or may not be able to see in some brake heat. Yeah, down the straightaway even, you can see how lit up those brakes are. So they're in the corner a little bit as well. So these guys definitely are going to be pushing the limits of these super lates, and it's always fun to see some good super late model racing, be it real life or sim. So I got my chance to see some super late model racing for only the second time out here in, well, it was in Pennsylvania. South Boston in November, up at Jennerstown, a great facility. I really hope that place comes to iRacing soon. Jennerstown Speedway Complex. Oh my gosh, that is a great place. Put on some great racing. And I bring it up actually, not just to toot my own horn, but because this place might actually see some slightly multi-groove racing, kind of like you have at Jennerstown, where it's a big half mile, just like here at New Smyrna, but it's slightly shorter straightaways up in PA, slightly longer straightaways here in Florida. That said, I think we're going to see that middle groove open up just a bit here, Emerson. I was talking about it with Trey a little while ago. The bottom's absolutely going to be the place to go, but you can probably defend from that top side, at least for a little while, so that you can try and open up a battle. And I think it's just going to open the possibility to go up the racetrack a little bit and kind of get your feet wet.
Right, we were talking about this before the broadcast, actually, that these drivers, they're going to be searching around, and that really is true. You can see almost, not even specific to this oval, but most ovals, you know, if you're able to get a decent run on the outside lane, it can carry a lot of momentum down these straightaways, and you know, momentum is going to be so important. This track, it flows pretty nicely, especially with super late models, so the momentum is going to be the key factor on the straightaways, and if you can carry more speed off the corner, you'll be able to, of course, you know, keep up battles and get into new ones and make some overtakes. The inside lane is probably going to be best for defending, as it is at most circuits and most tracks, but the outside lane definitely can spice things up tonight.
Yeah, most certainly. As we're on board with Mike Chapman too, as he's going to take his qualifying run. You'll see here he's going to go up through the middle lane and try to arc it down to the bottom, which was more the preferred lane. Actually, he kind of stayed in the middle of the lane. It looks like he kind of scraped the wall there. As you see, he's going to arc it down again. Stay down, come off the bottom, go back up near the wall. You don't want to get very close to that wall. As you can see, it kind of juts out. So going back to what you guys were saying, the bottom line is most definitely going to be the go-to, and then as the track gets rubber laid down, these drivers will, I expect, to be going around searching for different lines to run. I don't expect to see a lot of cars running the high line, but I do expect cars to be tracking up towards the middle to find some grip.
So we'll go on board here with John Goyne once more, and we'll see what he does here in his qualifying run. You see he's struggling for grip in center. It washes up a little bit. He kind of diamonds the exit of the corner. We'll see what he does down here in 3 and 4. Definitely a bit like Darlington in that New Smyrna has two very different ends of the racetrack. He's going to abort his qualifying run. So we'll go to Alex Brock then and see what he's doing with his number 9 machine. It's definitely a bit like Darlington because you have two very distinctly different ends of the racetrack here at New Smyrna. It's absolutely a different beast on its own. These guys are aborting the qualifying runs all over the place. Actually, I think they're finishing them up. So we'll try and find somebody who's just leaving. Tanner Griffith here, the number 14. I think that's a Mark Martin throwback, possibly, with the Dylan over the rear tire. I could be wrong. Regardless, Yeah, no, this place is definitely unique in that way. It's not just a cut and dry half mile. You can, cut it in half 2 different ways and it'll be symmetrical. No, this place is definitely a bit different. I believe, in fact, we can go to our blimp as well and kind of show this off a little bit. 1 and 2 are going to be a bit of a wider turn radius, a little, I guess, wider as well. 3 and 4, even the racing groove is a bit narrower, the track is a bit narrower, and the corner is just has a narrower radius. So definitely, honestly, exactly like Darlington, I feel like, just in a half-mile short track sense. So definitely a cool little challenge for these guys.
Yeah, I think what else? I think there's a banking difference in 1 and 2 than there is a 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Right here you can see that's the 10 of Brian Pembleton on starting his qualifying lap. They actually have 4 laps to set a time here. And so, yeah, you see the inside there in 1 and 2. It's much flatter. You just want to take the shorter way around. But here in the 3 and 4, look at that higher entry. Just trying to get a nice apex there. Carry the momentum a little bit higher up off the bottom. We'll see once again here in the 1 what he does. Actually going a little higher. He's searching around it. Oh, and around he goes.
Yeah, like I said, we're on board with Seth Dameron here as he's going out of turn 2 towards the back stretch. As he goes up top, looks like he's getting more of a lower entry as he actually washes up mid, goes up high, got a little bit loose there as the car slid a little bit underneath him. That's going to put him P6 on the board. Looking at Cameron Jarrell here. He slides a little bit on entry going on to the back stretch here. Slides up, almost taps the wall. Arcs it about the mid lane, keeps it down on the bottom. Exits up top. That's really the preferred line here. That only puts him P7 right now, but like Emerson said, they have 4 laps to set a good time, but it looks like, I'm not sure if everybody's setting 4 laps, but Alex Brock, definitely the fastest guy in qualifying right now, 14 thousandths over second place Joe Burchett.
So back to Emerson's point, definitely turns 3 and 4 like dropping into a bowl if you've ever been skating or snowboarding. Whereas 1 and 2, it's kind of a gradual drop into the corner, and it's not quite as drastic. 3 and 4, you're definitely dropping into a bit of a bowl. So these guys, I think that's what funnels them down to the bottom. You can usually open up a little bit higher on the racetrack in 1 and 2, oddly enough. But in 3 and 4, at least in my previous experience, it's a bit tougher to get something going, as Gerald's going to have a bit of a yard sale, another skiing snowboarding term, but he's going to get back at it. He's going to keep turning some laps, and at the same time, these guys can turn some extra laps just to get some more practice down, try and get more used to the racetrack. We have a new second place, though. It's going to go to Landon Pembleton, so a new P2. His score is the 26. His paint shows the 0, number nothing, so we'll see what he can do. Looks like Gerald is going to abort his qualifying run for good. Pembleton going to go back on the racetrack. But, yeah, should be a nice 130 laps. It is going to be a bit of a long one here with just 10 cars. But, at the same time, that might keep things a bit more clean and make this a bit better racing, honestly. Sometimes you just, even if you have the best drivers, I mean, we saw it with the eNASCAR Pro Invitational Series. Even if you have the best drivers in the world in a race, if you have enough of them on a short enough track in a car that's hard enough to handle, you're going to have a mess. And the super late model, it's a bit tricky. I don't know if it's necessarily hard. It's just you have to get it down right. It's definitely not the easiest thing to drive. New Smyrna, definitely not an easy track to drive. So even with 15, 20 cars, I think it would absolutely lend itself to a few cautions. This should be a bit of a cleaner race. I really am excited to see how these guys do over the course of 130 laps. So it looks like qualifying is going to wrap up. I don't see anyone on the racetrack. I don't see anyone live. So we'll step away. We'll leave you with some live sights of the racetrack. So we're not going to go far. Don't you worry. Actually, I say that. It looks like we're advancing the session. So instead, I'll go ahead and I'll turn it over to Trey with the starting lineup.
All right, starting first, looks like we have Alex Brock with Landon Pembleton starting on the outside in P2. Row 2, we have Joe Burchett and Brian Pembleton starting 4th. Starting 5th, we have Mike Chapman, and on the outside of row 3, we have John Goyne. On the next row, we have Seth Dameron, followed by Cameron Jarrell. The next row, we have Tyler Lalone and Tanner Griffith rounding out our field.
So 10 cars ready to go at it. It's a bit of a bull ring here at Smyrna. We've been talking about it the entire pre-race. This place definitely a bit interesting to get a handle on. And you know what? I think we did. We finally figured out who the face was. I know we were talking about the face in pre-race, and it's kind of distorted around the super late model nose, so we didn't really know exactly whose it was. But I can confirm that is... God, why am I blanking on his name? Why can
Phil Swift?
Yes, it's Phil Swift on the number 10.
Swift, yeah.
I don't know why I was blanking on his name. That is absolutely Phil Swift on the front and back of the number 10. So, again, this is kind of a more lighthearted production here for us. We're glad to be here, and I can't wait to get things going. We're really looking forward to 130 laps. I mean, it is a bit of a longer race, but I think with 10 cars, this should be a breeze. So, you might see these guys again. Have some fun. We're not totally sure about fast repairs, so you may see those come into effect as well. But I'm really looking forward to kicking things off here.
Yep. I saw in qualifying that the time's actually pretty close. I think the competition's going to be nice, evenly spread throughout the field. But yeah, I think what was happening a lot in qualifying is these drivers, because these super late models are pretty simple to drive in a sense. They're trying to figure out how fast they can go, or what they can do to make themselves even faster in qualifying, because it is a pretty level playing field.
Yeah, just reiterating what you said, the playing field does look very, very close. So I expect to see some good hard racing. Hopefully we won't see anybody intentionally wrecking or any goofing off as we actually take the green flag here. The field gets a little stacked up behind them as the 9 of Alex Brock leads them into turn 1. As we have a car actually spinning around, no yellow.
We stay green for the first lap. Pembleton and Brock battle into turn 3. Pembleton takes that lead away. We have a yellow finally come out for that spun car in turn 2. And I think at that point they got it righted, because I don't see... Yeah, it looks like the back 2 cars never gridded. So Lalone and Griffith not taking to the racetrack, but we could take a replay as to what happens here further back in the field. So this is watching Cameron Jarrell starting 8th place here out of 8. And we're just going to see what happens. A stack up on the start. I think that's what leads to this whole thing. Jumbles them up, and they're all looking for something. Jarrell actually down to the bottom side gets right into the 16 of Dameron, and he goes around.
Right. It's just the intensity on these starts. You know, it's where you can make up the your spots the most. And you know, getting out to the bottom, we said it's going to be the preferred line, especially on restarts here. And I think it's just fighting for it. Ooh. Maybe trying to feel out the brake pedal there. About the move for the race lead, Landon Pembleton, he made a power move around the outside. That came in quick.
Yeah, I was hoping we weren't going to see really any aggressive moves early on, but, you know, like we mentioned before, this 130 lap race, you know, you can't win it on lap 1, turn 1, but you can certainly lose a race. As we actually see some contact there, I don't know if that was some displeasure for maybe checking up on the start, or maybe just wasn't paying attention. But good thing there we won't see Phil Swift saying that's a lot of damage, because...
Well, even if it is, just put some flex tape on it and they're good to go. I mean, the bare bond they use in NASCAR basically is flex tape anyways, so these guys will get themselves sorted out. Thankfully, if we do get a lot of yellows here, caution laps are set to count, so we won't have any issue there. Won't have to worry about this race extending and never counting laps. But I think once these guys get into a groove, I mean, we have some talent here in the field. I see Joe Burchett. I know he's just from past experiences. I know he's a good short track racer. So I look forward to seeing what these guys can do. You see Pembleton going to opt to take the outside line. We don't have a choose cone, as we saw it finally being utilized in NASCAR for the first time at Bristol in the All-Star race. But we get some lane choice up at the front. I like that. I like that the leader gets to choose where he wants to restart from. I wish we had a bit of a choose cone, but it's a little hard to facilitate here in iRacing. Going to come to the green flag, and we are green flag racing once more at New Smyrna Speedway. They race off into turn 1.
Yeah, Pembleton, he's going to try to ride it way high, get all that momentum off the outside there, and try to clear into turn 3, but I believe Alex Brock, he just powered it down into 3. He'll clear him off of turn 4. Here comes the crossover to the inside, looks to 0. Let's see if he can make it work down low.
Yeah, they actually make a little contact and it sends him around. Oh, big junk. 9 car backs it into the fence there on the inside wall, and that brings out caution number 2 as we come to lap 8 of 130. I'm sure we will get a instant replay of that incident here. Just some hard racing. We will wait for the replay here to show you guys what exactly happened.
Yeah, Pembleton's just going to get into the number 9 of Brock and just send him around. So you can see Phil Swift looking menacingly up at this wreck, but you're going to see Pembleton's going to cross him over. Emerson called that out pretty nicely into 1, and he's just going to get in a bit deep, but it's pretty early in the race, so I understand it, and just gets him in the left rear. Sends him around, and boom, right there, gets collected. I'm not sure who that was. In fact, I believe that may have been, was that? No, it wasn't Chapman, so I wonder who it was.
The 16 that hit him, the 16 of Seth Dameron, I believe, is the one that made the after contact when he was spinning.
Yes, it was. The 16 of Dameron then going to collect all that nose damage. Hopefully, he can get that repaired and stay with things. Again, they might have some fast fixes as well to keep them in this race. In fact, if we go live, Dameron just exited the pit lane, and Alex Brock is in the pit lane. I don't know if they're allowed to get tires. I don't know if they're going to opt to get tires, considering, well, it's short track racing. Sometimes you don't even want to get tires or are allowed to get tires. He's going to go a lap down here as well, so Alex Brock loses a lap here under this yellow.
Yeah, what else I noticed? I think, and rightfully so, they've given an EOL to Landon Pembleton for causing the caution. And so he's not going to be up front. You saw him making a lot of moves early on those on the initial start and that restart there. So we'll see him try to work his way through the field now.
Yeah, that'll make some decent things for us to watch. You know, we saw he was aggressive early on, so now he's going to be able to go over. He actually just got waved around the pace car, so it looks like they are going to give him his lap back. So that just puts him at the tail end of the lead lap. So I'm anxious to see how quick it tries to he tries to make it back up to the front. As we have Joe Burchett and Mike Chapman going to lead us to the green.
Bit of contact there between Jarrell and the number 10 of Pembleton. And actually, we just had our fastest lap of the race set under caution. Alex Brock, now the fastest on the racetrack, under yellow, but we're coming to the green flag. Burchett going to opt for the outside line, is in control. He fires off immediately as a big jump over the rest of the field. Chapman's second. They're going to race for third.
Yeah, side by side on favor back. Joe Burchett, amazing start as they jumble up behind them. The 87 of Gerald is going to be falling down the running order. There goes the 90 of John Goyne, clearing himself into the 4th position, and here comes that 26, or I guess he's the 0 car. He scored as the 26 to Landon Pembleton, already into the top 5, looking for 4 from the 90. Into the wall, and around goes the 90,
up and over.
Down.
Oh man, you hate to see it. Aggressive driving. Looks like he got a little tight off the corner and just hit the wall and had nowhere to go. A lot of damage on that number 90 machine as we're going to get the replay here. He running up high, hits the wall, got squeezed, pinched. The 87 had nowhere to go, and up and over the 90 goes. John Goyne went for a ride, gets it back going on 4 wheels. So we're going to get another angle of this crash here. Looks like he's just sailing in the corner, got a little high, and then, like I said, got pinched around, just nosed it, got pinched. Looks like the 87 actually went 2-wheeled it there, and then when he got pinched, it just sent the 90 up and over. The 90 machine, as we saw even on the first initial start, got checked up, and he's been in at least, I think, 2 incidents now. Not necessarily his fault, but early on in this race, lap 15, already in the pits. Looks like he's coming out. May have gotten a fast repair there, so he might be able to get a wave around. Not sure if he went a lap down or not.
So that confirms our suspicions then about a faster pairs. So good to know these guys have that in the bank. While these guys pace, we're going to step away for just a moment, and we'll be right back to you. It's only lap 16 of 130, so we're not too far in, but we're going to just step away, get a nice little break, get a drink of water. We'll be right back to you. This is PitStop TV live coverage of some Monday night short track racing at New Smyrna. Welcome back. Just had to sort a couple of things out. We rejoin you, getting ready to go back green flag racing. Burchett's still your race leader, and he's going to steal the show out of turn 4. Takes the lead, gets a big jump once again. These guys have not learned. Pembleton around the outside of Mike Chapman. And Chapman going to drop back in a third. A little bit of contact there with Pembleton, but they sort things out. That was a really nice save out of turn 2.
Further back, there was a lot of contact between the 10 of Brian Pembleton and the 9 of Alex Brock. I believe Brock went way up the track, but now Brian Pembleton's fallen back. But look at Landon Pembleton, just, I mean, absolutely powering through the field. I know he's had a restart or two to help him out here, but up to second already from restarting at the tail end.
Yeah, I'm board with Alex Brock in the 5th position, as Joe Burchett just sets our fastest time of the race with the 17.374. Alex Brock was up front a little bit. Now he's trying to work his way up through the field as we get an onboard in-car camera here of the 9 machine. You can see a little bit there down in the left corner. You can see him a little bit wheeling that car, seeing how much input he's actually putting into that car. Here we go. We got a on board how much he's actually turning that thing, and we have a caution.
Caution flies. It looks like it is going to be, actually I'm not totally sure who that's for.
I did see something about halfway yellows or brake yellows. I'm not quite sure, so I don't know if that may have something happened, or maybe something happened with scoring, or I'm not quite sure. I'm going to try to investigate that.
It was John going around out of 4.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
He must have gotten it right and correct quickly, because I was looking at the speeds and everything. I couldn't really tell, or maybe the caution was just called late. But it looks like the 90 was just looking at the inside of the 10, and I don't know, just maybe got too low off of 4.
He gets sorted back out, and he'll rejoin the race field. He started 6th. He's now in 7th place. He's been as high as only 5th, though, so he'll look to try and turn his night around the rest of the evening, and we'll see how he can do with that. We're going to step away again. We're just trying to sort some things out on our end, so apologies about that. We'll be right back to you with the race restart. Don't go anywhere. And we come right back to you with a live picture. As these guys are getting ready to restart, Joe Burchett still in control of things. He'll restart off the top lane. Only about 7, there we go, 8 cars in the group. One very sideways in the back. That was Alex Brock hanging on to things, but immediately single file goes the whole field through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Seth Dameron actually moved up into the 2nd position, getting around that 26 car. We'll see how Landon Hamilton, who's been up absolutely on the move since he got an EOL for an early caution. We'll see what happens here into 1.
Yeah, the 187 actually had a slow entry there. The 87 had to check up. So we're on board. Landon Pembleton working his way up through the field. Currently P3, making a run on Seth Dameron for P2. As you see, he got a little up close to the wall. See some sparks flying. That is something very common you'll see with these super late models as they tag the wall. As he actually sends it on the inside, Seth Dameron goes up the track, and he will not clear him yet for second. Going into turn 1, it is going to be a side-by-side battle. This is definitely one to watch here as they make a little contact as he clears him for second, and the 187 actually is now battling side-by-side for the 3rd position.
Oh, and they're going to get a piece of each other as well. Chapman barely gets in front of Dameron for 3rd, and they're going to keep racing into 1. You see Gerald lock up the left front tire. They sort things out, though, and man, this is a really heated battle between Dameron and Chapman now. I don't think Dameron's going to like that move. He almost gets to the back end of Chapman, doesn't actually hit him. I don't know how soon these guys are going to start being okay with the bumpers being used. Not totally certain on that one. I mean, it is only lap 32 of 130. We've got a lot of racing to go, so you just got to get into a rhythm here and try and work things out. They are starting to click these laps away, though. Gerald falling back into the clutches there of Alex Brock. That could be a battle as well. That would be for 5th place.
Right, that 9 car, he's trying to close up to the 87, but it looks like the 87 is just able to carry a lot of momentum off the corner. The 9 has a fast entry, and I think just Cameron Gerald just gets him on exit here. Looks like Alex Brock's got him set up here into turn 1. He looks down low, side by side through 1 and 2. And yeah, this is just a product of short track racing. Contact is almost always just going to happen because it's so hard to be so precise at such a small track, such close quarters racing.
Oh, and he's going to lose it. Maybe, no, he hangs on to it. Oh, they had contact into the corner as well. That was something. He's still losing it. Gerald going to spin down the backstretch, and that should bring out yet another yellow. It does. Cameron Gerald just battling here with Dameron. He's going to go around. Or sorry, that was Alex Brock, rather, not Dameron. You see they have that little bit of contact into 1. Then out of turn 2, he's going to get sideways again. And the number 87, you see right here, just going to tail slap the fence a bit. Corrects a bit too much. Going to catch the wall. And that's going to send him into a spin.
That car was wrecking from turn 4 all the way around to turn 3.
It's impressive how long he was wrecking there out of... I mean, he was... Yeah, like you say, he was wrecking as soon as they left turn 4. In fact, we'll show that now as well. A little better. He was even loose the lap prior. So he was really battling the handle on this race car. You see Brock gets down to the inside. This is a couple laps before things happen. And this is where he's going to get loose, where we really noticed it. He's going to lose that spot just about. And is there a contact there? No, he just gets sideways. So you have to wonder what he's done to that race car. I mean, there is a lot of damage to help the handling go away. But what he's done to that race car to get it so on edge like that. And then right here is where he has his spin that brings out the caution flag.
You know, the battles all over this racetrack has been, you know, a real treat. This is definitely what we've come here for short track racing for. The intense racing, and I mean the contact, seeing these drivers, their patience get tested. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, to reiterate what he might have been doing there when he was a little loose is that, as you mentioned, the damage on that race car. And as he was creeping up the track near that wall, you know, with the damaged race car, you kind of put a little more wheel into it than you normally would. So I feel like he thought he was going to hit the wall, so he might have sawed at that wheel just a little more than he should have, which overcorrected and unfortunately had him spin around. As the pace car takes a hard left into pit road, Landon Pembleton is going to lead us to the green as we almost have some contact going into turn 1. Going to be really, really tight, but it looks like the 93 of Joe Burchett is going to get the run off the corner as he clears him going down the back straightaway.
Burchett chose the outside line right there. It's going to work yet again. Pembleton are all over him out of turn 4. The 16 of Dameron gets up into third, so he gets by Chapman once more. They're going to battle now a little further back. Brock got right to the back end of that 187, but all bets are off right now for the lead because it is just... they were really going at it before we had that caution, and they're still going at it. That said, Burchett has kind of gapped Pembleton. If he really wanted to, he could probably get there, but at the same time, you got to maybe wonder about saving your tires. He's not doing that, though. A really good run out of turn 2.
Piling on the pressure is the 0 of Landon Pembleton. You know he's been waiting for a few restarts for his shot, and here he goes. Joe Burchett, Landon Pembleton, 1v1 here at the front of the grid on lap 43.
Oh, he slaps the wall. He got really loose out of 2, and that's going to do a number to Pembleton's machine.
Seth Dameron making a run on the... As 0 actually gets into the wall again, going to lose a few more spots. Alex Brock coming up into the picture now. Pembleton not having an ideal night so far, but there's still plenty of racing left as he is all over the back.
Oh, he's going to... Oh, he turns himself around. Oh, my gosh.
On the 9 of Alex Brock.
Oh!
Big contact with the 10 of Ryan Pembleton. Both Pembletons and Alex Brock. Carnage on the front straightaway.
So you saw Pembleton make his own bit of mistakes here. And then he just, in fact, we're going to go all the way a couple laps back and see how this all happens. So here in just a moment, we'll even go on board for this portion. Pembleton's just going to get a bit loose and really slap the fence. He's loose on entry. He's driving this thing the entire time. He's still sideways. Boom! In the wall right there. And at this point, as a driver, you're frustrated. You just made a mistake when you're going for the lead. And now you just want to get back up there. Your car is damaged. It's not handling right, so he slaps the wall again. And at this point, I mean, you're just seeing red. And thankfully, he's got a lot of red on his car, so it doesn't have to look far. Chapman's just kind of in his way at this point. Pembleton's upset. Chapman a little bit slower than he is, and he just gets into Chapman. And then the contact with Chapman actually upsets the 0 of Pembleton and sends himself around, and then he ends up collecting Alex Brock, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that was heavy contact with the 10. The front end did... Oh, more contact under caution. I don't know if the 90 brake checked the 10, but you see there, yeah, the 0 either got too low or was either the contact with the 187, as you said, spun him around. Alex Brock had nowhere to go, and the 10 of Brian Pembleton, you know, even though he was that far back, the track is only so big, and so nowhere for him to go. Right into the side of that 9 car, almost sent him up and over.
I'm looking on board as we actually see the front nose of that 10 machine of Brian Pembleton. I actually noticed on the windshield, it's actually reversed. So when you see it in the mirror, it actually says that's a lot of damage. And looking at that 10 machine, there seems to be quite a lot of nose damage on that machine after making contact with that Pembleton and Brock there. That brought out the yellow.
Can kind of see it there. I wonder if maybe we can punch in on one of these cameras for just a moment and try and get a better look at things. Let's see. That's not quite working for us. So we'll abandon that idea, but regardless, you can kind of see it there on the windshield banner of the number 10. The Phil Swift Flex Seal machine. Looks like we're going to get an extension of this caution flag. So, well, things are going to get held off for a moment. But let's talk about Joe Burchett, man. He has now lasted about, 4 or 5 restarts in the front, just starting on the top side each time and defending as they go through 1 and 2. He's got a bit of right side damage to his name, but he's just done a great job. I think it's been about 4 or 5 cautions now. Yeah, I mean, this is our 6th caution, so he's going to go for, I think, his 5th one right here of just hanging on to that lead, and he has not looked back in a while. In fact, he's now got 42 laps led. We've only been racing for 49. So doing a really good job is Joe Burchett.
Right, and I think it's just the product of these lanes. The outside lane, it's so good because you're coming off the corner. If you can get a great launch on the exit of 4, it sets you up nicely to clear the inside lane into turn 1. And we'll see what happens on this restart here. The lineup on the outside, the 16 of Seth Dameron down low.
As the pace car comes into pit road, the green is out as they stack up. There's contact, almost 3 wide going across the stripe. It looks like the 16 is gonna be side by side for the lead, as we mentioned, getting that launch on the outside. We're actually almost 3 wide in the back, still side by side for the lead. Joe Pritchett is going to get the run off the corner, should be able to clear him across the stripe, as he does, but he did not clear him down the straightaway.
Oh, he's gonna wreck him!
Contact! Way to hold on to that machine. Joe Pritchett now back to 3rd place. Mike Chapman up to P2. The 90 machine, as we saw, he was up and over. Not out of this picture in P4 right now. Joe Pritchett still wheeling that thing as he gets a little loose.
We've seen multiple times now, these guys definitely get into the corner a bit hot, and they just push up in center. We saw it there again with Dameron pushing up in the center of the corner, tagging Burchett, and I really thought he was going to wreck him. Of course, nothing intentional, just got in there a bit deep and got into his left side door. So I really thought that 93 was going around. Great job from Joe to hang on to that car. Now he's battling with Mike Chapman out of 2, side by side into 3, and he's going to get the nose ahead, maybe even clear him right here. Yup, so Chapman, I think, is just here to race. And he doesn't mind letting somebody through right now. I mean, there's still a whole lot of racing to go. Almost 80 laps, in fact, 75 once we complete this one.
Right. That's the second time Mike Chapman has had somebody, battling for the race lead on his back bumper there. But that time, well, he kept the car straight both times. But that time, the 93 goes by no issue. He'll have another go here at Seth Dameron. And it'll be interesting to see if he repays the favor or more. Short track racing, it definitely tests the patience of these drivers. And we'll see what happens. He's really closing that gap now. If I'm Seth Dameron, I am worried. I am mirror driving a lot right now.
Yeah, mirror driving is definitely something that a lot of drivers do, but it's not something you want to do a lot. Because when you're looking in that mirror, you're not hitting your marks. You're all worried about what the guy behind you is going to do. As you can actually see, reiterating to what we mentioned earlier, those brake rotors, right, glowing more so now as we are on a green flag run. So those rotors are glowing orange as we go to this suspension camera. From what we showed earlier in the broadcast, that thing is glowing, very, very bright orange. So those things are getting warmed up as he's actually making a run for the lead, gets to the inside of Seth Dameron. Seth Dameron washes up the track, and looks like Joe Pritchett is gonna lead that lap. If not, it'll be very close. He did get it, but he does not have the preferred line coming off the corner. So he makes some contact, and he's still wheeling that thing, keeps it going, still P2.
A great catch there by Burchett. We're going to get a replay on that because that was just too good not to watch again. So they're going to be side by side down here in 1 and 2, and it's already a great battle, and Burchett just gets a bit tight, I think, out of the corner, and at that point, Dameron's holding him down as well, so that's why they make a little bit of contact, and man, that was a great job by Burchett to hang on to that thing. He is now going to have the company of Mike Chapman to worry about, but I don't think Chapman's going to pose too much of a threat. But, I mean, Chapman could have long run speed compared to what he's shown on the short run, so that car could absolutely come to him. A little further back, they've been battling for other positions. John Goyne has actually cycled into 4th. Pembleton Pembleton of the Landon variety, is now battling with Alex Brock. Brian Pembleton has fallen quite a ways back. He's got all that damage on the nose of Phil Swift, and he is trying to run the top side. There he goes, pops the wall, and that 10 is just not working.
Yeah, you hate to see it for the 10 car. The 93 of Joe Burchett, he is absolutely wheeling that thing off of turn 4. Wicked loose there. Back to the battle for 5th. Landon Pembleton, Alex Brock, they have been together all day long, whether it was up front or towards the back. So it'll be interesting to see what brews up there.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking at our timing and scoring screen. Joe Pritchett's last lap was a 17.718, and our leader of Seth Dameron was a 7:52. So right now Joe Pritchett is running. He is the fastest car on track, not by much, but he is currently setting much faster lap times than our leader right now.
We're seeing great racing here out of Pembleton and Goyne. Goyne actually was trying to race back around Pembleton for that spot as they're both sideways out of the corner. I think alternating times. That time it was Pembleton. This time it might be Goyne again. We'll see. No, actually that was pretty straight as an arrow. Just a bit low on the racetrack. But yeah, those guys swapping some paint and definitely going at it here, even for fourth position. But Pembleton back up into that spot, and he's going to start his pursuit then of Mike Chapman, who's a little ways up the racetrack. You can see those guys in the background now, Chapman. But, man, all sights turned back to Joe Burchett then as he tries to continue to pursue our leaders. Man, getting used to names here. Seth Dameron, who got into him to get that spot. So you have to wonder if he's going to repay the favor either with a bumper or maybe even a door. Wouldn't surprise me too much. I mean, if somebody doors you, you want to door him back, right? That's how short track racing goes. So we'll see what Burchett opts to do when he gets back to him. I'd imagine it's more so a matter of when as opposed to if.
Yeah, the aggression's really going to ramp up here. I mean, this is going to be the third time he's going to be battling with the 16 car on this run. By the way, we just passed halfway 5 laps ago, so nice to know that we're making progress in this race. But also just nice to know that we are getting a green flag run. That slew of cautions at the beginning did not look promising, but here we are, great racing. Even with the small field size, whoa! The 16 was loose off of turn 4. He holds on to it under the pressure, maybe, of that 93 of Joe Burchett. Closing the gap as they go by to number 10 of Brian Pembleton, putting him 1 lap down.
Yeah, Pembleton just way up in the wall, just trying to stay out of the way, just putting more damage onto that race car. Doesn't look like he's having a good time trying to drive that thing around. But, you know, as Phil Swift would say, that is a lot of damage, and a lot of damage.
Oh, you can't reuse the same joke.
I couldn't think of anything else to say, but as we look here, Joe Burchett is making a run still. Mike Chapman still P3 as Seth Dameron goes way up the track. That's going to open the door for Joe Burchett to make a run into turn 3. Is he going to stick the nose in there? Yes, he will. I don't think he'll be able to get him down the front straightaway, but going into turn 1, he'll still not have, still won't be cleared. So this is the battle we've been waiting for.
They're battling out of turn 2 down the backstretch. You see Burchett working that bottom side. He just can't quite get the drive off he needs. That time he's going to nose ahead, but he loses a bit of traction out of the corner, and he loses that spot once more. But this time he might have him cleared out of turn 2. He does! So Burchett gets that spot back. We don't see a crossover yet from Dameron, so Dameron going to have to fall in behind the 93 now. Absolutely the better car is Joe Burchett, but Dameron's still looking pretty sporty. We'll see if we can get him back through 1 and 2. He's running a higher line. Can't do anything with it. Can't even make a bit of ground right now. Burchett's car is just on rails. And I mean, we've seen he's gotten loose a few times, but aside from those moments when he was really pushing to get back to the 16 car, that 93 has been perfectly on rails, perfectly handling, at least from the looks of things. If it's not handling well, he's made it look like it's handling well.
I mean, I think he knows that car is a wicked, and a caution on the speedway.
Oh, no, it's not Cameron Terrell. It is going to be, was that Pembleton?
I'm not quite sure what the yellow is out for.
Might have been the 9?
It's not Alex Brock. At this point, the caution flies. Caution's already out. So I'll go back and try and get a replay on things. That may have been a break.
Yes, we have cars coming down pit road right now. Looks like Joe Burchett is actually in pit road. Yeah, I saw them mention something pre-race about brake yellows, so this might be their a little over halfway brake yellow. I'm not quite sure. But
oh, here it is. It was the 9 maybe. Well, that doesn't look like it would warrant a yellow, but Pembleton gets Alex Brock and really damages the side of that 9 car. And I don't see anything before that or after it even.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but when the yellow came out, I was just about to comment on how clean the 93 of Joe Burchett's pass was, even after, battling hard a couple of times and making contact. But yeah, I don't know, maybe an admin might have seen it and thought it was going to be more and threw it before he became something. Actually, Landon Pembleton is an admin in here and threw that yellow, so I'm not quite sure.
needless to say, that's going to stack this field up. Everyone is going to use a faster pair if they haven't yet, or get some fresh tires on these machines, and should provide some really, really good racing. Hopefully we can see some good, aggressive, close racing. Hopefully it's not going to make a caution fest, as we actually see Alex Brock being waved around the pace car there. So this might be cycling through to get cars back onto the lead lap. Needless to say, we are 80 laps in. Pretty impressed for this upfront battle. Pretty good racing. I expect a lot more, and I expect it to get a lot more aggressive once we get to the latter half of this race.
So Joe Perchette, your race leader, and so he's going to hang on to that lead as well. I think we kind of saw the same kind of yellow. The order looks similar. It looks about the same as it was. I think we saw the kind of yellow that you might see in like the Cars Tour, for example, where everybody has to come in, get some tires. It's up to you on how many tires you take, but you leave in the same order. You don't gain or lose any positions in your pit stop as long as you take some kind of service. I believe, I could be a bit mistaken there, because I have limited experience, but that's the closest to what I can recall. It might just be a short track thing in general, where sometimes you come in for service and you can't lose or gain anything because, you know, nobody wants to fund a full pit crew. Obviously, iRacing a bit different, but regardless, everybody holds their spot, it looks like, from where they were in that green flag run. 6 cars still left on the lead lap, although I did see Brian Pemberton get waved around. That should get him back on the lead lap as well. Dameron got a great restart on Burchett. They're going to go side by side through 1 and 2.
Yeah, big wiggle out of the 0 of Landon Pemberton, but around the outside, that's the power move we've been talking about for Joe Burchett. Can he stick it? Here comes the 16. Back hard contact behind. Landon Pemberton bullies the 187 out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Joe Perchette clears him for the lead. Now he clears him as we come into turn 3. That power move on the outside that you were talking about earlier, Emerson, as the 0 is making a run for the money, running for P2, trying to get it. Hasn't quite got there yet. This battle for the lead can be put under a blanket. Alex Brock in P4 trying to make his way up through the field, but he's not quite there yet. As we see, he's still a second and a half back. This battle for the lead has, mainly been the cars that have been up front all day. Do we see a crossover going to turn 1? No, we do not, but he goes up the track. Little bit of contact as they're bumper to bumper. This will be a really, really good race for the lead.
Love watching from these angles where you can just watch these guys roll around this bull ring and really battle. You've seen Pemberton not be afraid to use the bumper here on Dameron, trying to make that pass for second place. They're going to keep going at it down the back stretch now, as you're going to see Burchett kind of save that bottom line for himself, defend down there, but that's going to leave the top open to Dameron, side by side, 3 wide across the line, and that gives the lead to Pemberton. I'm honestly still not sure what I just saw. I believe the right rear, so the left front of Dameron just maybe made a little bit of contact, got the 93 of Burchett a little bit loose, a little bit tight up the racetrack, 4-wheel slide, and just opened the door on the bottom side for Pemberton to take that race lead. The 16 of Dameron really had to check up, though, to not get put in the fence.
Yeah, Landon Pemberton, he has been waiting almost all race long for that. I can't remember if it was first or second, but I do remember him starting on the front row, and he's been eager to get back to that race lead battle. Other than him, it was been a Seth Dameron, Joe Burchett show, and Landon Pemberton, it was still their show, but he just came in and stole it.
Yeah, he was definitely in the catbird seat there, just waiting for something to happen, and it just fell right into his lap as he's pulled away about half a second on second place Seth Dameron. And he has got that car dialed in. Still got a little damage on that machine, but it doesn't really seem to be affecting him now.
So Pemberton going to try and check out with that race lead. Dameron in pursuit, and man, I have to wonder if he's got the tire after checking up like that and racing that hard over Pemberton to try and get back up to him. Of course, he could try and cool his tires down a bit. We still have almost 40 laps to go, so you can absolutely try and employ some tire saving for the next 20 laps or so and then start charging hard later on. And of course, you might still get a yellow flag, so you have to really weigh, if you're in the driver's seat, you have to really weigh your options right now and try and figure out what you want to do, because if you're Seth Dameron, have I been saying Shane all night? Probably have. Regardless, Dameron now in a position where, he has a few possibilities. He can try and charge and get to him right now, and then maybe have worse tires later on. That's he's going to pop the fence. You're seeing Pebleton get loose out of each corner, but man, it seems like the balance is different on these two cars. We've seen these guys get loose all night long, but Dameron looking a bit tighter out of the corner.
Yeah, I mean, these are drivers who are driving on the edge of of the traction they have, of the control they have of these cars, trying to get every last inch of lap time they can out of these cars, out of this track. As a 90 of John Goyne is slow down there on the front straightaway, probably just letting the leaders by. There's caution on the speedway.
I believe that's going to come out for John Goyne as well. I don't see anyone else who was slow. Actually, no, it might have been Alex Brock here. We'll get a replay. Now, this may or may not be the case. I think he was actually, he was already behind Chapman, so he already had his problem. So I actually don't think it was for him. It may have been with Pemberton, and Goyne just spins and brings that one out. We'll see what happens to cause that. I mean, he's racing here at the number 10 of Pemberton, and suddenly I think he gets the wall and stops on the nose of the 10. Oh, wow. Oh, that was a send. That was a big send from Pebleton. He made it work. He got to him, but then it upsets the 90 and he goes around.
Yeah, he didn't even put a stamp on it. He just sent it into turn 3 and turned out to be pretty costly for the 90 on turn 4 exit.
And remember, kids, always pay for postage. Never just send a letter without a stamp. He definitely, he shot that car into that corner, though, and he gave Goyne a pretty good shot in the shorts. That's what gets him around out of turn 4. I'm surprised that he didn't lose it in center, though, Trey, because, he hit him really early in the corner.
Yeah, he hit him very early. Looked like he kind of took a slow approach to the corner, but the 10 was just, running his line. As we saw, Joe Burchett there was actually getting some service on that race car, maybe getting some damage repaired, because he was kind of losing some ground there after that little incident that took him out of the lead. So maybe got some 4 fresh tires on that thing, got some damage fixed, and like we said, we're only on lap 99, so we got about 32 laps to go in this thing. So, there's still plenty of time for Joe Burchett to get back up into the mix for this race one.
And it looked like he was going for tires, Burchett. It looked like he was getting some new Mr. Feelgoods on that machine, so I think he just wanted that new rubber. I'm not sure how many laps he had run on the set prior. He may not have taken tires last time around and just gotten fuel. It's hard to say. Of course, he may have just gotten tired of burning those tires up, wanted to just come in for a nice refresh. But he's going to have to battle through Brock and Chapman, and that's going to be tough to do. We've seen that be the case already, so I'm not so sure if I like that decision from Joe Burchett. I think you've got what you've got at that point. And, a short track racing, these tires can last a lot more than 30, 40 laps, so you can definitely keep racing on him. I'm not so sure that in his position I would have done the same thing, but at the same time, Emerson, that's why I'm up here and they're down there in the cars.
Right. It's especially because crew chiefs aren't necessarily a thing all the time. I don't know if he has a crew chief or not. I would doubt it just because it's a short track race. But I think that was a driver decision. I think he feels he's about to tear it up here with the last. We're gonna have 29 laps when we go green, and I think it spells trouble for the top 4.
Yeah, especially he's right on the inside line, so as long as everything goes right here, looks like we're actually not gonna go green this time. They just extended the yellow, probably to fix some timing and scoring issues here to get the field lined up correctly. It looks like the 10 was not caught up to the field yet. Probably a good idea, so just in case he wasn't going to get a run and go around the outside and blow by the field there.
You don't want to have any kind of incident like that on the restart before they even get down to turn 1. So a good call there to delay the green flag. You're going to see the field doubled up out of turn 2. a couple of stragglers on the bottom side of the racetrack as opposed to being double up. They're, of course, going to have AOLs from getting wave arounds, etc. So that's why you see Pembleton and going on the bottom side of the racetrack. But these front four doubled up 2x2, and they're going to light those rear tires up. Get on the loud pedal. You see Brock was actually staggered to the outside, but Pembleton gets a really good restart off into one.
Yeah, Pembleton, he waited a little bit longer than previous restarts and longer than the 93 of Burchett usually does on these restarts. He wanted to really bring the field down to pace, and then he jammed that throttle down, and he's trying to open up that gap to Seth Dameron. Joe Burchett already up into P4 to the inside of the 187. Can he make it stick?
A little contact there. Sorry, I hit my wrong queue up button there. Makes a more contact out of turn 3 as Joe Burchett back up into third spot. Mike Chapman looks like he was kind of just chilling around. John Goyne in P5 right now. Alex Brock sailing behind him as we're on board. Now we're looking at the 90 machine. Alex Brock just kind of hanging out in the back in about P6 right here. As we look at the battle for the lead here, Seth Dameron is still not quite there yet, as we see Alex Brock still chilling out in the back, trying to make his way back up through the field. But it looks like he can't get any ground made up. Looks like Joe Burchett making a run for second, as the top three are starting to get on under a blanket here, as we're looking at a nose cam of Joe Burchett. This battle for the lead getting heated, as we only have about 20 laps to go here soon.
Burchett all over the back end of Dameron as they fly off into one. Pembleton trying to gap the field. It hasn't quite worked out just yet. Dameron certainly still within striking distance. Well, actually, out of the corner that time, Dameron loses some time, and he's going to have to start running up Burchett. Burchett maybe gives him a shot. No. Actually, yeah, no, there's more contact out of the corner. He gets him loose up off of the corner, off of exit. So, man, Burchett starting to lean into him. A caution flies, and I actually don't see any car turned around. I have to wonder what that one was for.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is finally Joe Burchett's chance to finally repay some favors from earlier. You know, he passed the 16 so cleanly earlier in the race. I think it now, you know, laps are winding down, and it is go time. He's trying to get to that zero and put up a fight for this race. Win, and the 16 effectively was in his way, especially with the 93's fresh tires.
Oh, we've got some cars stopping here. Pembleton stopping, and not really sure what he's doing. He has stopped on the racetrack. So your race leader has stopped. I wonder if he's got something to go take care of. Of course, this is a simulator. You know, we're on our computers in our basements, living rooms, bedrooms, whatever. So he may have something to go take care of in the real world that, of course, I mean, that's a little more important sometimes than what's going on in the Sims. So while he takes care of that, we're going to take care of our own business. We'll be right back to you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with live coverage of some Monday Night Short Track Racing from New Smyrna. coming back to you just in time for the restart. On board with Burchett here, watching his onboard as they try to get back racing down the front stretch immediately to the top side of Dameron. He's going to try and take him around the top side. Big moves here from Joe Burchett. It's going to work out. They're stacking up in the back.
Yeah, they were nearly 3 wide behind them, but Burchett, he's gone around at 16. It is go time. Those fresh rubbers about to be put to the test here with 16 laps to go here in New Smyrna.
Alex Brock with a big send. I'm not sure what happened there. He's been sending it in the corner there. Actually makes contact with the 187, sends him way up, almost put him in the fence. And that's going to put him up to P4.
Oh, we've got a stopped car on the track.
Another yellow, the 10 car of Brandon Pembleton. Not quite sure what happened there. But yeah, as Emerson said, they stacked up a little bit on the restart. They were actually about 3 wide coming out of turn 4 at the stripe. So it was pretty aggressive racing there in the back. So we're going to assume, yep, the number 10 of Pembleton was racing with the 90 of John Goyne.
Oh my gosh.
Lost it. And wow, that just killed the outside wall. Thankfully, he's able to keep that car going. We're going to get a different view of this here.
This was impressive here from Ryan Pembleton. He's going to make contact, and then he's just going to nail this outside wall right there. Wow, and he almost goes up and over. That is something. That is a big, big hit for a super late model to take. If this was real life, you'd see that car in pieces all over the front stretch right now, and that'd be a very, very expensive trip back to the garage, unfortunately. But thankfully, this is a sim, so he's not going to have to worry about all that. He's just going to be able to take some repairs, obviously. While it's not going to be the same damage you'd see in real life, you still get a ton of damage to your race car. And he'll have to go to the pits and repair that. So he is in the pits right now, Brian Pemberton. And we'll see how long that pit stop takes him. This is only the second time, actually, that he's been down the pit lane. So I think the previous time was to get a fast repair earlier. We saw that very damaged number 10 get repaired at one point, and he's getting repaired again. So I'm not sure that he's got a fast fix. He does not. You can see the damage number 10 actually leaving the pit lane. He's not going to save that lap, though. Going to get trapped behind the pace car, but he should get some wave rounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. He's a couple laps down here.
Yeah, oh. Trey already used that one.
Get all
now,
three.
See, I was thinking about how I could work in the sawing a car in half or something like that, sawing the wall in half with how much he was hitting that wall, but man, you can't just reuse the same joke over and over throughout a broadcast.
I have to get one in.
Oh man, that camera angle off of turn 4 there, showing that replay of him hitting that wall was, I mean, that was definitely a big hit. Something you do not want to see. He's actually stopped on track. I'm not sure if he went back to the garage. Oh, look.
Oh, he was missing. He missed the pits or the pit road. Pit entry there, and he didn't want to get the penalty for clipping the cone. So I think he might call it quits right here. He is P7 out of 10, but yeah, I think that might be it for the Phil Swift number 10. Regardless, coming to 10 laps to go is the rest of the field. 6 cars still going at it. It's Pembleton, it's Burchett, then Brock, then Dameron for your top 4. A big jump almost to the inside from Goyne. They get it sort of back out in the race into turn 1.
This is the restart we've been waiting for. The 93 slides up. Alex Brock back into the mix around the outside. Burchett trying to clear the 9 into turn 3 and a big send. Can't get to the back bumper to 0, but we coming around to 9 laps to go.
Yeah, Joe Burchett P2. I expect him to get to the bumper of
Oh, we've got a stack up in the back. Goyne and Chapman, they sort it out. Goyne sideways into 3. Will he save it? He does. Meanwhile, they start to battle for the lead. Goyne might go around, but Burchett down to the inside. He tries to make it work, slides in behind the back end of the number nothing machine of Landon Pembleton. He's going to hang on to the race lead. They'll be coming to 7 laps to go. Brock has 3rd. That is over Dameron, who led a large portion of the mid-race. Burchett got back to him, unsettled that lead, and he since has not recovered. Now, about the lead once again. Burchett sideways out of turn 2, loses that inside position on the number nothing.
This is what we've signed up for. This is what we've been waiting all day for. Here we go with 6 laps to go. The 2 fastest cars on the day go 1-on-1 with 5.5 laps to go here in New Smyrna.
As we look further back in the field, the battle for 3rd, Alex Brock and Seth Dameron. They are going as we actually have a side-by-side battle. Not quite got to his bumper yet as Joe Burchett tries to make that bottom work. He hasn't got it to get it to stick yet, but I expect to see the bumper be used here as we're coming to 4 laps to go.
Across the stripe, 2 miles left in this race. It's been a total of what? Let's put some math together. 65 miles for this race. They only have now about a mile and a half to go once they exit turn 4. This time by, it's Pembleton over Burchett. Dead even across the stripe. Burchett trying to work the bottom side. Pembleton keeps defending, and he's done a darn good job of it. But this time, Burchett almost noses ahead. He might clear him, not quite. Now he's finally cleared to turn 3. Burchett regains the lead, but he's not done on the top side as Pembleton. He continues to try and battle. He almost looks to cross him back over. Can't quite do it. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air as they cross into the flag stand that time. Pembleton loose out of 2. He's losing a lot of time. Alex Brock now gaining on that battle. That might be ascendant, and he just hit the bumper for second. Burchett takes the white flag. 1 lap to go, a half mile from New Smyrna, Florida, and they're going to race it back. Burchett still got the race lead. Pembleton hanging on to second for now. Will he lose it out of 4? We'll find out. Joe Burchett going to cross the start-finish line in just a moment. He will claim New Smyrna as his own. Pembleton hangs on to second place. Man, I was out of breath after that one. Whew.
Alex Brock will come home third. Seth Dameron fourth. Mike Chapman fifth. And around goes Pembleton after the checkers. Wow, yeah, that was definitely the battle we've been waiting for. A little short-lived there coming to the end, but nonetheless, the restart till the pass was absolutely intense, and this 93 is going to come and burn them down, and rightfully so.
Yeah, Joe Burchett was definitely one of the dominant cars tonight as Alex Brock comes and almost interrupts his burnouts here as everyone's just kind of chilling out on the front stretch here as he will park it into victory lane here. Oh, no, he won't. He's going to do a little more burnouts as the 10 car goes around on his roof. And that will conclude our coverage here from what it looks like. Joe Burchett will take home the win. Landon Pembleton, P2, Alex Brock, P3, Seth Dameron, P4. Mike Chapman rounds out the top 5. John Goyne 6th, Brian Pembleton 2nd, Cameron Jarrell 8th, Tyler Lalone, sorry if I messed that up, man, and Tanner Griffith rounding out our field in 10th.
Loney and Griffith never taking the green flag, unfortunately. But, man, that was some really good racing. Even if we weren't totally certain of how it would turn out through some points of the race, it still ended up really, really good. I mean, we started this thing off, and we weren't totally certain how it was all going to work out. We had some cautions from the get-go. But in the end, I'm glad we stuck through it. I'm glad we were here for this one. Pembleton going to keep turning some laps, but we are not going to have post-race interviews, unfortunately. We don't have these guys to talk to this time around. But if you're still watching out there, let us know in the chat, be it Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. It doesn't matter. Let us know what you thought the best moment of that race was. I think for me, guys, it would definitely be when those two raced it out there at the end. I know that's probably just easy pickings right there, but I think that really was one of the more exciting moments of the race, obviously, because it's for the race win. But at the same time, if I'm going to have to pick something from earlier on, I think Burchett chasing down Dameron lap after lap after lap and really just bringing the battle to him. That was some good stuff. That was some textbook good short track racing.
I mean, both Burchett and Pembleton both had to work their way through the field a few times. Burchett had to chase down Dameron how many times to finally claim the race lead in the middle of this race. I mean, absolutely seeing these drivers go to work and get results that they deservedly, that they deserve for the hard work they put in tonight in these super lates at Smyrna.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That was definitely a good race. Joe Burchett just put on a clinic for everybody. I mean, just the whole top 3 mainly. Seth Dameron, Pembleton, and of course Joe Burchett just really just put on a clinic. And it's a great product of short track racing. New Smyrna is always a good track to tune into and even just set some laps on. This is personally one of my favorite short tracks. I love driving around, and it's definitely fun to wheel around a super late model.
Absolutely. So again, let us know what your favorite moment of tonight was. We'll check it out later on. But we have eclipsed an hour and a half of coverage. That's going to do it for us tonight. That'll conclude our coverage of some Monday night short track racing here at the Super Late Models at New Smyrna Speedway in New Smyrna, Florida. We at PitStop TV, thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us again Wednesday. Wednesday actually. I kind of stumbled over myself there. I wasn't totally certain. Old scripts. Anyways, Wednesday we're going to have the penultimate round of the IRL IndyCar Series at Laguna Seca. So the championship already decided. We figured that out at Michigan. Matt Chubb going to take that one, but still some great points battles and just some great racing up ahead for those guys in the IRL IndyCar Series. They are a great league. They have some really good, really well put together racing, well put together stuff. And man, if Rick Ray Vaughn likes it, it must be some good IndyCar racing. But they're going to Laguna Seca. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Make sure you're here. Should be some good stuff. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PitStopTV. Go over to Twitter at PitStopTV_. You'll find our social media updates. And we didn't have any for this race, but for most races, we're going to have social media updates. We've been working on those, getting that together. I know both Trey and Emerson, you guys have worked on it a bit for us and appreciate what you guys have done. Noah Carmichael, Trey Shuttlesworth as well. It's been good getting that going, making sure we can have some mid-race updates. You'll see it on PitStop TV's Facebook as well. But make sure to go to our Facebook or Twitter during the race. You can follow along even if you're not watching. I also urge you, if you want a PitStop TV t-shirt, to check out Lucid Graphics Company. We're going to have more information on them shortly, but by shortly I mean in the coming weeks. But if you go over to Lucid Graphics Co. on Facebook, you can order yourself a brand new PitStop TV shirt. All you have to do is tell them we sent you there. Tell them what color you want. I personally went for gray and black. They look amazing. If you go for a darker color, you'll have a white image of our logo and social media icons and such on the back. You'll just have the pocket logo. It doesn't matter what color you take. If you take a lighter color, you'll have black socials on the back of your shirt. It's honestly some quality stuff. I was even surprised at how comfortable the shirts are too. They are some good stuff. And again, you can go to Lucid Graphics Co. on Facebook for more information about that. You can also follow us and watch our races as they are archived on Twitch for a couple of weeks anyways, and you can clip our highlights and such if you like. Go over to Twitch, www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV. Again, you can watch us live over there as well. If Facebook or YouTube isn't your thing, you're probably already watching over there, but regardless, that's been a pretty good platform for us. We're kind of molding that into our own thing as well, so make sure to give us a follow and everything. And of course, you can watch on YouTube by searching on YouTube PitStop TV. Make sure to give us a subscription. It means a lot to us. A like on Facebook goes a long ways. A follow on Twitter really boosts our confidence. So definitely help us out. Get us our social media growing a little bit more, and make sure you subscribe just so you can watch more of our races. If you like what you're seeing here, you're going to want to see more of it, right? So we're doing more of these broadcasts, getting into full swing. We have a lot of great racing coming up through the rest of the summer, the fall, the winter, and even back around into the spring and summer next year. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, follow on Twitch, follow on Twitter, all the sorts. For PitStop TV, though, this has been Emerson Ardon and Trey Patton in the booth. We will see you again Wednesday for the IRL IndyCar Series at Laguna Seca. It's going to be some fun stuff. But until then, have a great night.